Hello, cats and kittens. Oliver Jose Yodoshku. I'm back in the Crisis Corner with a follow-up to my earlier video, Joys and Concerns, regarding Daredevil Born Again. I want to give the show a fair assessment, so I'm bringing in some help. I'm bringing in my man TJ. How you doing, nephew?
I'm doing all right. How about
Man,
yourself?
good. First of all, I'll say that the rating situation where it's getting low ratings, in my opinion, TJ, I think this is a situation where the previous work is impacting the current work. You know,
Mm,
I think maybe some of the fall off from Agatha and Echo and stuff like that may have scared people off. And so the ratings are less than they should be. Well, what do you think?
but I definitely agree. I'd say that anything probably because you can even base it all the way back to probably even Eternals.
Oh,
Just ever
yeah.
since it was like ever since that was the bomb, and then
Yeah.
on top of it, we're getting several series, but none of these series are necessarily leading or connecting anywhere.
Yeah.
Like even with Doctor Strange, it's just a lot of that post credits. Like everything just feels too loosely connected. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And they tried. I mean, they made kind of subtle references to Echo. I don't think
Hmm.
they made any to Hawkeye. No, let me see. He got shot in the face in Hawkeye.
Right.
Okay, so they made references to Hawkeye. They made references to Echo, but they were kind of smart not to get all the way into it.
Right.
Because I mean, I already put my reviews out for those. I like Hawkeye. I thought was cool.
Hmm.
I thought it was alright. Echo was trash. I mean, that's just I don't know what to tell you. Echo was trash.
Hmm.
But anything else? Oh, I'm not even gonna get into what they did to him in She-Hulk. What they did to Daredevil. They're carrying the baggage of the past attempts at Daredevil,
Hmm.
which failed. So maybe people are going into this thinking, "Oh, this is going to be that Matt Murdock from She-Hulk. I don't want no part of it." I think that's affecting the ratings. Now I'm gonna say this off of the top. In my impressions, this is the best Netflix has done to this point. We're talking about uh, the next one. I say, what you call them? Hawkeye, Winter Soldier, and maybe the Lokis
Hmm.
come behind that. The rest of it, is hit or miss. Is mainly bad, in my
Right.
opinion. Where do you think this sits in terms of the comparison between Netflix? Oh no, among not even go do the comparison, just in the Disney Marvel Plus shows.
I'd say that it definitely has potential to be one of the best that they put out.
Okay,
And it's mind you, we're only 3 episodes in.
true.
It does feel promising.
Okay.
So, compared to the other ones, it doesn't feel like they're kind of dragging things out, so to
Okay.
speak.
I get it.
Um,
That's another good point. So now let's get into the show itself. When I in my earlier video, my encouragement was that they did take the time to do the reshoots because apparently it was going left field. It was really kind of weird or whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
and they pulled it out and they stopped basically production. I think at episode 6 and just started retooling it.
Mhm.
And I think that I don't even want to know what they were doing before this, but it seems like they've steered things more towards the Netflix version that everyone came to see. In terms of the stunt choreography, how do you think that held up?
I'd say that it's up there with Netflix. So, I would say it does look pretty good. I only had one complaint in the first episode, but that was like the
Yeah,
slight use of CGI. But I feel like with Disney and Marvel, acquiring it, like that's bound to happen. So, especially with that character, even if they're gonna put him in the big screen.
and that's a very good point because when I looked at it, what I've been doing right now is I ran through the 3 episodes, then I went back to watch season 3,
Hmm.
Netflix Daredevil. and I'm just kind of like eyeballing the differences. Like you say, they're making him look more like a less grounded version. Like they doing the stuff like him swinging on the his grappling line, and you
Hmm.
know they to do that you have to do CGI at some points. And I guess they tried their best to limit it, the amount of any type of CGI that they use. And they did his swinging shots at night, so you
Right.
don't have to worry about it. That would, yeah, I wouldn't do that in the daytime. Because I mean, it's just you're gonna open up a can of worms because the Netflix stuff was all grounded. Even when he was on rooftops, he was on actual rooftops, just jumping around, just doing stuff. And they
Exactly.
staged it in such a way that it would just look like him. This was just a dude on the roof.
Yeah, even during
Um,
the daytime. Like,
yeah, yeah. It was just him running around doing stuff, and that suited what they were doing. It was grounded, but like you say, this is the MCU. They had to do that. Another thing is the bar fight. When I first saw it, I looked at it and I was like, all right, that's cool, but and I'm not knocking it. I'm not trying to do bash, Disney plus whatever. But the main difference, because I went back and looked at the fight in season 3 where he was in the prison and stuff like that.
hmm.
I think the bar fight kind of just didn't really, you know what I mean? It was all
Yeah,
right. It was all
it
right.
didn't hit like the hallway scenes that we've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
in the Netflix series.
It was just not as, I don't know, grounded, intense, or whatever.
Hmm.
And plus, he had the smoke bomb going off, and it was kind
Right.
of like they tried their best, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Like I agree
Um,
because even thinking back at it when he had first fought Bullseye at the Bulletin and
oh
like
my
just seeing
god!
the shots that they were doing there, and it was an intense
Yeah.
fight.
Oh
Like
yeah. Oh,
like the
I just
shots
got
that they
off of
were
that a couple
using.
of days. Yesterday, I was watching that at work. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hmm. Yeah, like they were showing like the amazing shots just to emphasize how Daredevil is more of a close combat fighter and Bullseye is more of a long range
Right.
fighter,
Right.
and just the styles that they were using. And of course, it was still chaotic even then because, like, after
Right.
everything that went down.
And they were smart to like in the bar fight. They were smart to like separate them because in my
Hmm.
mind, close quarters, Matt just beats him.
Exactly.
He just dogs him. He walks him quick. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Don't get me wrong. Bullseye can fight.
Right.
But if he just wants to get into a close quarters fight, it's done. He
Right.
just he walks him in his own. So okay, so in terms of the action, I think is good. It's
Mm.
not quite Netflix level.
Right.
The cast I thought was a plus. And I put down Kevin Feige and listed, Charlie Cox, D'Onofrio, and the other, cast members. But I
Mm.
said death flags were on some of them because somebody was going to get killed. I knew that. My thing is, a, if they're going to continue the series, some kind of a way they were going to have to bring in some fresh blood.
Hmm.
Bring in fresh blood. You got to get rid of some of the old cats.
Right.
All
It's
right, so I
a
figured
fresh start.
somebody was going to get shot, stabbed, or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, Interestingly, though, and I've just found this out from YouTube and whatever. There's a situation in the comics apparently where Foggy has faked his own death.
Oh,
Have you
really?
ever heard about that?
Nah, I
Yeah,
did not hear about that.
and apparently they dropped Easter eggs to the point to that comic book reference, which I'm done with Easter eggs to get.
Right, right.
I'm not looking for Easter eggs no more. Somebody got to bring them up to me.
Hmm.
I'm, Easter eggs, names drops, they don't mean nothing to me anymore. But
Yeah.
apparently, there's wiggle room for him to actually not be dead. But I hope that they don't do that because it seems like I don't know how they would work that. I
Mm.
hope they do it in such a way that it's believable.
Right.
Because it looked like he got shot in the heart. I
Yeah.
don't see you really, recovering from that too quickly.
Yeah, you can't fake that. Like,
Nah, the blood was drooling out of his chest like it was nothing.
mind you, Bullseye fell how many stories? And
Yeah, he
then
did. That
he.
was at least a 4 or 5 story building, and he fell face first.
Right.
And he quickly just coughed up some blood. And he was back to breathing. So
Okay.
I know
This is the
they
same guy
repaired
that.
his. I know they repaired his spine, but I don't know
Right, that's what I'm
what.
saying. This man had a broken back. Like,
Yeah, I don't, yeah, good luck with that. Um, Now, another thing that I was encouraged by was they were introducing a new villain, Muse, who we
Mhm,
haven't seen quite yet.
mhm.
Um, so that's kind of like an incomplete because we haven't really got him straight up. What do you think about Bronze Tiger? Not Bronze Tiger, White
White
Tiger.
Tiger.
Yeah, and him
Uh,
being,
After that third episode, I was like, "Dang, I mean, it's a little too soon. Don't let him go."
yeah, I guess because the actor's dead, so
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
ain't nothing.
Because he
I
wasn't.
mean,
Yeah,
I
that
don't know
he.
if they decided on the ending the three after he died, or
Hmm.
was it just they were going to get rid of him anyways? So
Hmm.
I think he did. I think he did good. I like that court case.
That was great.
I like that court. I thought it was tight. I thought it was all right, and I like. A lot of people were saying, we're not getting Daredevil in costume or whatever. If you go
Hmm.
back again, look at the season three. Nobody wasn't in
No,
costume for the majority of the whole thing.
no, he just had to wear black. He went
Yeah,
back
he
to
was just
black.
wearing his black thing with the little thing.
Hmm.
So now we haven't got Daredevil doing much in
Right.
with period. He got into the fight with the police.
Hmm.
The early fight with Bullseye, the fight with the police, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
So okay, so we waiting on the more action. What do you think
Hmm.
about the cast, the supporting cast?
I'm all for it. Like who is it? You have who is it? Gandolfini,
Mm-hmm.
who's like working alongside Kingpin. Gandolfini's character, um, like who's working alongside Kingpin, and of course, Yurik's niece being introduced. I thought that was really
Okay, that
cool.
was an interesting, interesting take. She's working actually with the man that choked out her.
Right.
But she
But
finds out she might be a villain in this.
that's what I'm saying. It's only a matter of time before she starts digging,
Oh
trying to
yeah,
figure out what happened. Like,
I'm pretty sure. That's why I think either Matt or Karen's going to tell her when she comes back. I guess somebody's going to have
yeah.
to tell him that
It's definitely gonna be Matt because I think Karen they kind of just wrote her off, just
I think she's
unless she
coming back
decides.
though. I think
Oh,
she's
she is.
coming, which doesn't bode well for his new love interest because she probably going to be Slade or something. So he get the eye
Right.
of the tiger and come back and fight Muse. I guess that's how it is.
Right.
It's not really no future in being a romantic interest of a lead in a
Mm.
superhero joint. You're gonna get butchered in, so it is what it is. One other so Muse is coming. We're gonna get to him probably mid to late in this season, and then things will heat up for real next season. I think not having Foggy and Karen hurts to some degree because the side characters they introduce are not really built up. They
Mm.
were kind of like thrown out there. They would. My man, I'm gonna call him Meldrick Lewis because my man, the detective from Homicide, his
Right.
boy they work with. That's my boy. I'm always calling Meldrick Lewis, but
Yeah.
he's a good character.
Mm.
But we don't know him and the little lady that was like in the DA's office that's working for Matt. We
Right.
just don't
Right.
have that familiarity with them as we did with Karen and Foggy, and so people complaining about they're shallow characters and they're not fully
Mm.
formed. Well, I mean,
They're
Netflix
not
had
wrong.
three series to build up Karen and Foggy, and they just started this one, so.
Mm.
And they'll be back, but hey, there's new characters, so you just gotta, buck up and deal with it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they do build them up later in the
Yeah,
season. Like they might give them an episode or two.
yeah.
That would be good. But then
I
again,
think
we
the
have to wait and see. Yeah.
but the jury's kind of out on them.
Hmm.
But let's get to the concerns. Do you think that they're treading on a lot of old ground in terms of Matt's journey?
Yes. I can say that they are doing that. And the reason why they're doing it because I guess because it's on a new platform. So it's for a lot of people that may not have seen the Netflix series to kind of give them a way to kind of grow into knowing Matt Murdock, so to speak. And then on top of it, like, because we've already seen this kind of journey in the last season where,
Yeah,
he didn't want to do it. Not even necessarily he didn't want to be Daredevil, but he knew what he had to do. Like, and it was just, he had to reach a point of no return.
yeah,
So it's like we've kind of already seen this before. Um, but, and of course, in this one, now it's more like, okay, maybe I don't need this anymore. Let me just trust the law. But it's like, for how long? Because I mean,
right. And like you say, in the Netflix shows, we went from him being comfortable with being Daredevil, Kingpin breaking him down, and then he questioning his role, and now he at the end of three, he was pretty much back to being comfortable. I think at some point he's going to have to just realize I'm Daredevil, and this is what I do. Otherwise, it's kind of like what they was doing with Thor in the MCU. He learned that lesson, and he go back to being immature again. And he learned a lesson, go back to being immature again. It's like
4 straight
he.
movies.
No, it's like what's wrong with you? Do you not understand now that you got to be, a leader and you got to do whatever? But they dragging them through the same mud. So, the my concerns were also centered around the level of violence that they were going to employ. I don't think we've got to that point yet because I don't see anything worse than the worst things that happen in Netflix.
Right.
I haven't seen any, but it might be coming though. We haven't got the Muse yet, and Muse. I mean, spoilers, man. This dude is not right.
Right.
He's like a 7 type killer. You know what I mean? Just getting into some pretty bad stuff. So it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Right, because didn't they call him Vincent Van Gogh?
Yeah.
That was like his nickname. So
yeah, I mean, you're talking about somebody that actually uses the skin and the blood of his victims to do all kind of weird stuff. So, hang on to your seats.
Yeah, but I'd say that after Deadpool, they're trying to show folks that we can have edge.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you kind of need to. Like, I mean, not necessarily need to, but you do have to with certain characters.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree. Where you got to employ it where it's necessary or where it makes sense.
Right.
You can't bring Punisher back and just have him, not be the old Punisher. Right. And if so, you really got to explain why. Because this dude was comfortable doing a lot of stuff, man.
Right.
Yeah. So just to keep that consistency. But I will ask this: what do you think about Vanessa's role in the story so far?
Vanessa. That's I don't know because it's like what is it right now? She's straying away from Fisk. I'm still trying to figure out why exactly she's straying away from Fisk.
Well, apparently she had an affair while he was gone. He'd been out of jail for a minute. He was running around doing that Echo stuff, which they're not going to get into. But she was gone for a minute. Apparently, she had an affair with somebody named Adam. I don't know who that is. I think Adam's been dealt with because they keep doing them flashes to Kingpin's knuckles, and then how they bruised up. And I think Adam's done. I think he might even be alive and just somewhere taking a beating. Whatever happened between, I think he's struggling at this point. I think he's got him. I don't think Vanessa is keeping tabs on Adams. If she was, she would know that he's probably captured or dead.
Right.
Because I don't see Kingpin letting that slide. Yeah. So, like they're creating a wedge between the two of them.
Right.
My question is this: at the end of 3, Matt had Fisk over a barrel, basically saying that if you make moves against Karen, I'm going to release this information, and Homegirl either goes to jail or gets deported, or both. Okay. Does that still stand?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
because even putting out a secret,
I mean, apparently, if he wanted to, he could just try to out him again and say, "Hey, Matt Murdock is Daredevil," whatever. But he was doing that for Vanessa's sake.
Mm-hmm.
That was what was holding him down. That was what was keeping him in line. He said, if you do this, I'm gonna get your girl deported or locked up. So if that's not on the table anymore, Matt's in trouble because he could just go after him with impunity.
Right.
And second thing is, are they going to make her a threat to Fisk? Like,
Mm-hmm.
is she going to get sick of being under his thumb? And it looked like she's been taking leadership
Mm-hmm.
while he was away doing whatever it is he was doing. So are
Mm-hmm.
the boys lined up with her now? And she going to pull a coup d'etat and be like, I'm in charge now. I'm the kingpin or whatever. And maybe he had a team up with Daredevil to stop her. I
Right.
don't know. I hope that doesn't. But it can't be wrong if it does.
Yeah. Like he'll have the power of the government. I mean,
Yeah.
and then she'll just have the mafia or the mob. Like,
And on a lower note, how does this man become man?
yeah,
They
that's
know the federal government knows that he co-opted the FBI to run the drug trade or the criminal underworld in New York. They know this.
exactly.
It's at the end of 3, they broke it up. So that means that they know that that's why he went to jail, right?
Right.
At this point, I would say, I heard one reviewer say that Netflix Daredevil or Disney Plus Daredevil is like Daredevil in a Netflix skin suit. You know what I mean? It's like Disney Plus Daredevil, but in a Netflix skin suit. Like they're trying to mimic
Right.
the that feel. And yeah, they have to. They have to because they can't run out there with the She-Hulk version.
Exactly.
They really. I just hope that the viewership rises up and people appreciate the show for what it is. Because it's not bad at all. It's got a lot of good merits. We were talking about the cinematography. We were talking about the use of visual. The way they use visuals to enhance his abilities.
Yeah, just the use
to enhance how his abilities work.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing good stuff. It's not it's not even remotely bad. It's just like you are being compared with this monster that was out before you. And Netflix Daredevil, I always say that is the best adaptation of a superhero that I've ever seen.
I agree.
I mean, you got to pull up Dark Knight and Winter Soldier. Yeah, that's the only thing where you get close. Or maybe even the first Spider-Man stuff. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. That level.
Maybe Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Otherwise, this is it. I mean, in terms of Daredevil, definitely that was the best. Aside from Ben Affleck stuff, which I don't think was that bad. The director's cut was okay.
I'd say the director's cut was 10 times better than the theatrical.
Yeah, I mean, people dog it, but come on, that wasn't.
Because there was even scenes.
Go ahead.
Like there was even scenes where like Matt was interrogating people as Matt Murdock, and then plus even in the director's cut, they Ben Urich was about to expose Matt. But then, he had confronted Matt about exposing them, and he's just like, I'm a reporter, so this is my job. I got to tell.
That was, like I said, they got big shoes to fill, but so far I think they're doing a pretty good job. I just hope they continue, and we get to see what Muse is really bringing to the table. Because I'm interested in seeing that particular villain. So that's where I'm at with it so far. I think we covered it pretty well, and I look forward to seeing what they do going forward. Hopefully, like I said, it gets better, and I hope the viewership continues to rise. We can get back and do this again maybe at the end of this season, or if something really drastic happens in the next 3 episodes, we can do this in thirds.
Okay.
6 and then 9, and see how that works. I appreciate you, nephew. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right. With this, that's it from the Crisis Corner. Look forward to our next review. As always, the Crisis Corner is brought to you by C3 Comics. What are you waiting for? Broaden your horizons. Check out Intrepid today. Until next time, stay loose.